I guess we could start off by asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey in music to where you are now, and maybe some of your biggest musical and non-musical influences.
Sure. I I started off playing violin. That's my primary instrument. But I also sing and play steel pan. And I also write music and poetry. Um, I started playing violin, I think, in third grade, like elementary school time. I think I was really fortunate to have like a good music program in my elementary school through middle school. Um, like I think all the kids like I think we had to do music. I don't know if I don't think we had to play an instrument for but like we had to do like a music course. So if we weren't playing an instrument, like kids were doing general music, which I think is really good. Um, but yeah, I have like a classical background, and then but I was also like listening to like R&B, hip hop, rap music like growing up. And then I started like discovering like other types of music and like getting more into classical music as I got older. Um, so now I kind of like all music and like playing all types of styles and everything. Um, Definitely getting more into like pop music and new music are like what I'm mostly doing now. Um, what was the last part of the question?
Any musical or non-musical
Right.
influences?
Um, yeah, so I also write poetry. And I think poetry um, is also like a big factor in my composition process. Um, and I'm also like really into visual art. A lot of my pieces pull inspiration from visual art or visual art processes. Um, yeah, and also nature. A lot of pieces about nature.
Cool. Well, you mentioned a little bit about your compositional process. Would you be willing to talk about that? Maybe referring to our piece or just your process in general?
Yeah, my process is a little weird. It's also like different for each piece. So I guess I'll like try and think of like the things that are like mostly similar across all of them. I guess like the big thing is that I always start on paper, not necessarily like writing like the notation or like manuscript paper or anything, but I like have a notebook where I like to like, write out a bunch of like concepts and terms that I want to play around with in every piece. And then the big thing that I do for all my pieces is write out like a little timeline, just like a visual of like the events that I want to happen in the piece and like the form of the piece. So like it might look like, oh, like the first 30 seconds I like want this to happen, and then the middle of the piece has like this here, and then at the end um just like mapping out like what I want to happen in the piece. But all the pitch content, the gestures, the rhythms, and all that stuff just comes more intuitively, I think. I'm never like thinking like, oh, I want to do like a pitch row here and like this harmonic movement to happen. That just comes as I write, really. But yeah.
I'm wondering if this process is similar at all to whenever you're writing poetry or working in that medium.
Yeah, definitely. Not so much like the form and like figuring out that stuff, but the um, most of my poems happen from a like a document or my journal where I just like write out a bunch of lines or phrases or terms, and then I like make like a really crazy like concept map and like draw lines and like arrows like, oh, this connects to like this thing that I thought about like on this day. So it'll really be like a months long or like sometimes like year long. Like I think I just recently like looked back at like a poem that I started and then like added some new stuff that I was thinking about to it, and like it changed completely. But yeah, I'm a big like visual to um, project person. So
I guess talk about then some of your favorite both musical and I guess generally artistic experiences. I keep asking everybody, what's your favorite musical experience? But also you're really into poetry too. So if there's any like poems that have really moved you or like times you've seen poetry read that, you really liked, I guess please share that.
Well, I guess really quick, I'll say some of my favorite poets are Jericho Brown, Terrence Hayes, who is a past mentor of mine. Wendy Trevino is a really wonderful poet. She does a lot with like revolutionary politics in her work. She's really great. Love her. But yeah, I have to say, like, my favorite musical experiences. Well, the first thing I think of is like being in steel bands. I feel like that is like the most different or like unique experience that I have with music, and definitely like one of the most memorable experiences was last year. In February, I got to go to Trinidad and Tobago to play in Panorama, which is so awesome. It's so cool. It's basically like I played with this band called Skiffle Steel Orchestra, um, and a steel band is kind of like a Western orchestra in that there's like different pans that are they kind of correspond to like what we think of like first violin, second violin, cellos, basses. Um, I mean, some of them are even called like cello pans, bass pans. But yeah, I was playing in this band, and it was upwards of like 100 people, and like the loudest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like I wore like these headphones with like the sound cancellation because it was just like so loud. But it's so fun, and you basically go. I mean, if you're there, I'm sure they prepare for like much longer, but I went for about a week in February for semifinals. So I went like the week leading up to that, and learned the panorama is basically like a 10-ish minute long piece that is arranged from like a popular song at the time, um, and just made like really crazy and fun to play and to dance to. But the entire tradition is like an oral tradition, so there's no like sheet music or I'm sure most of them don't even know how to like read Western notation or anything. So you go, and I play tenor pan, which is like the one drum, and yeah, you just go and you do like sectionals, and there's like a guy in the front, and he just tells you, okay, play this, da 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 da, and then you're like, okay, blah 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 blah, and then you do that, and you like learn the entire song, and it takes forever, um, but it's so fun and it's like so rewarding. Yeah, I definitely want to go again after COVID.
Yeah, I've actually seen videos of Panorama and it's so cool to me. I can't imagine actually being there though. That's awesome to hear that experience from you.
Yeah, it's so fun. I I also do. I've been to Panorama in Brooklyn also, and I believe they also do it in Canada. I want to say like in Toronto. Like there's a big Caribbean population there, so they do it in Toronto too. I haven't been to Toronto, but I'm hoping to go to that one also. But yeah, they're all super fun. I would definitely recommend checking it out if anyone has the chance to do it.
You had mentioned your interest in contemporary and pop music, and I was wondering about some of your experience in music school and whether you thought that there were things in the like conventional music school curriculum or setup that didn't necessarily encapsulate everything you were looking for, maybe out of those
Mm.
things. I don't think I worded that great, but
No, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I definitely, especially within like the last year, I think a lot of people are realizing that a lot of schools don't teach you how to like record yourself. Um, and that's something that I think is really important. And I definitely did not learn any of that like from a course or like any teachers or instructors like in my education. I did have a lot of chance to be on the other side, like the recording artist in like a studio like in school, but no one was like teaching us like how to use anything. So I feel like a lot of how I started out with like my recording and like electronic music making was like just buying a bunch of stuff and like figuring out like how to use it really. Like even now I have like a drum machine that I like hardly know how to use. I like just got it like maybe 2 months ago or something. And just like a lot of like trial and error that happens that I think like as a like a classical musician, if you're going through that stream, like you're going to be recording stuff regardless. So I think that's something that a lot of schools should definitely do like more focus on, like that, and also maybe a little bit more on like the marketing side. I don't want to say like it needs to be like 50% business or anything like that. I think that's kind of ridiculous, but I do think that like knowing how to I don't know, like negotiate with labels, or even like how to approach labels, or how to like sell yourself, well not sell yourself, like sell your work and like get your work out there kind of thing, um, is something that I just don't think happens, or at least doesn't happen in a way that's like ethical for young musicians.
Um, you're very involved with recording with Andrew, with people, places, and stuff. Can you talk about how maybe some of the things that you've learned from um, all of your experience with that?
Yeah, People Places Records is really great. Over the last few months, I think like this past summer, they moved to like a basically like zero profit organization where they don't take any money from the artists. All the money that comes in from any purchases goes directly back to the artists. Um, I think that's a really great model, and something that some other organizations can think about. Um, I also just love the community and like DIY aspect of People Places Records. I think like um, sometimes when people like reach out to other people that they don't necessarily know, that they're, especially with the last year, there's been like a lot of like tokenization and a lot of like trying to invite people in without having like the proper um, community, or like um, what's the word I'm looking for? Like safe space for those people to be a part of their organization. And I definitely think PPR does a really great job at like allowing like a safe space for all different types of artists and all different types of like music and experimental music to like have a home for their work and platform for their work.
I was going to also mention, I think in some ways, either directly or subconsciously, this whole project where we're commissioning small pieces is kind of influenced by y'all's one in one project. Um,
Sweet.
so cool. I thought it was just such a great idea. And also, I've been really into like really short pop songs in a way that like are only a minute or like a
Mhm.
minute and a half long. And I feel some kind of connection there where it's like, this is all you get. Here you go. And I mean, it works in miniature form also. I don't know. It's just a great idea. I really like it. I'm happy that you.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually just talking to someone about this the other day, like how there's so many like really short pop songs now, and like they're really good, but like they could be so much longer, sort of thing. But I feel like everyone's just like in this in this mood of like writing like really short pieces, because that's all we can like afford to do, or like expend that much energy at a time. So
Um, have how blah, 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 how have you been able to keep yourself motivated over I mean just in general, honestly, to like continue creating in all the ways that you do?
yeah, it's definitely been kind of a struggle. Like I'd say I'd probably like work maybe 3 to 5 hours a week, if even that. I've definitely been taking like a lot more breaks in between like working on projects. Um, and I think like the past year, I've definitely been the most affected in terms of my like practicing and like performing. Um, like I'm not really a part of any like chamber ensembles or like organizations or anything like that. So it's been like a lot of solo playing, and there's not like a lot of like solo playing gigs really, unless I'm doing like just like a live stream for like myself or something. I've had like a few opportunities to present like solo sets here and there, but like yeah, it's definitely been a struggle on like that side. But I think with writing, um, I've definitely just been taking like a lot more breaks, but also a lot more like writing opportunities. So it's just like finding a balance between like wanting to just like not do anything and watch anime and like having to write something. And I think like allowing myself to have those breaks makes it a lot easier to like want to do work.
Now, speaking of anime, this is a good segue into one of our supplemental
Oh
questions.
no.
What are some of your favorite animes to watch? Maybe what are some of your favorite podcasts or other TV shows, things you use to entertain yourself in your free time and otherwise?
Yeah, I don't listen to any podcasts actually. But for anime, I just finished The Promised Neverland, and I loved it. I wish the second season was longer, but it was really good. I also just got I started reading the manga for that. So I love that. My favorite is probably Fruits Basket, or Furuba, and that is finishing, like the last season comes out this month, which I'm super excited about. Um, and what else am I watching? I'm also watching Cowboy Bebop, which is fun. I definitely want to get more into like some of the older ones, so that was fun. Um, what else do I watch? I just watched the new movie. I think it's Idris Elba's movie, Concrete Cowboy, um, and the like main character is Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things, and I love that. I love the like yeehaw, like the Black Yeehaw movement, like with Lil Nas X and like that movie, and like some other like pop artists like getting more into like country music. Yeah. Also, Queen's Gambit was great. I've been playing like a ton of chess before that even, so definitely like major chess nerd right now.
Selfishly, can I ask, where is the second season of Promise Neverland? Because we binged it at the house here because of your recommendation.
It's
I was
so
like, wow,
good.
it is. It's so captivating.
The second season is on Funimation.
Okay.
Yeah. I
I
definitely
just
recommend switching to Funimation over Crunchyroll because they have more stuff.
will do. I just like it just builds to like you're like, okay, it's about to happen, and then it's the end of the first one. And I'm just like, okay. I need
Yeah.
more.
I
Um,
also just like love it because of the politics in it.
mhm.
Um, just like a super great representation of like revolutionary or like leftist politics in an anime.
And I think so subtly, like it's not
Mhm.
overtly like we're gonna, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give any spoilers, but yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I agree. It's great. Um, let's see. What else do you like to do for fun aside from, um, playing or making or animating?
I play chess pretty much every day. I love doing the puzzles. I have like a bunch of chess books that I am going to read, but just have not started yet. um, I also, what else do I do? I try to read a lot. I haven't been able to like for the past few weeks, but I definitely have like, I probably have a stack of about like 25 books that I need to read. So potentially reading. I also work out every day. I don't know if that's like fun, but I enjoy it.
Rewarding, if anything, you know?
Yeah. Um, and I like cooking too.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
um, like I love curry, but I'm not sure if I like cooking it because it takes forever to like cut all the vegetables. um, that's probably my favorite food to eat is like curry, any type of curry. What do I like actually cooking? I like making omelets. Omelets are really fun. Um, I'm vegan, but I use the like Just Egg, like vegan egg replacer. But yeah, omelets are fun to make. I love like flipping stuff.
Okay, post a pandemic, well, really more like, because it's not really going to be a post pandemic, but once we can start traveling and going places again, where's
Mm.
like somewhere that you'd really like to travel, whether it's like somewhere in the contiguous United States or anywhere in the world?
Um, well, I definitely want to see my partner. He lives in Canada, like outside of Toronto, and I haven't seen him in almost a year. So definitely there first. Um, but I also really want to go to Japan. It just seems so fun. And maybe Vietnam also. That also seems like it would be a fun trip.
Have you heard anything recently, like music or song, whatever wise? Like, what are you listening to recently? Like, what did you most recently hear?
Yesterday, the new Brockhampton album came out, and that's literally all I've been listening to, just like on repeat all day. It's so sad though. Yeah, it's really great. I love it. It's like a perfect mix of, I mean, they've been doing this already, but like just really excelling in like the perfect balance of like poppy, like in sync boy band stuff and like rap hip hop music. Um, yeah, I think it's amazing. um, I've also been listening to the Japanese House album that came out last year, which no one told me about, and I'm so mad because it's so good, and I could have been listening to it for a much longer time. Um, but yeah, I love the like her lyricism and like songwriting is just so good, and I really love her voice. It's like amazing.
So we've been asking everyone this question, and so I think it's time. We all know our answers, but do you prefer cats or dogs?
Oh, definitely dogs. I'm allergic to cats, so I think that that explains that. I think cats are cute, but cannot own one or be in like the same room as one for like more than 30 minutes.
Okay, I guess that's fair. We all have cats.
Do you have a dog?
Yeah, we got a puppy last fall. Her name is Zoe. She's really cute. She's kind of crazy though. She'll like jump and like chase me everywhere. She's like a boxer lab mix, I think. So cute.
Oh, cute. Do you have any other kinds of favorite animals?
I really like the like garbage cats. Like I love raccoons, skunks. What else is that? Like possums. I think those are really cute. Also beavers.
Can't
Beavers and otters.
can't do a possum though. I don't know how you like possums.
They're like kind of scary, but they're like I learned recently like they're super harmless and like rarely bite anyone. So
They just hiss
they're
at you.
friends.
Ah. Growing up, we always had like families of possums run along our back fence, and they just like you see their eyes at night, and it's terrifying. And then you hear the hissing sound, and it's like, okay, we're not going out back. Like,
What?
uh,
I feel like I mostly hear like cats outside at night, like cats fighting, which is scary.
Do you have any projects or anything coming up that you want to give a shout out or talk about?
What do I have coming up? Um, oh, in July? No, June. In June, um, I will be going to the Copeland House Cultivate Institute, and I'm not sure if I think I should have a piece premiered at that. I'm not sure if they're gonna like delay it or anything, or like how it's gonna work with COVID, but I have that coming up. And then in July, I think I have a premiere with Contemporaneous of this new piece that I wrote over the past year in collaboration with one of my close friends, Bailey Cohen Vera, who's a poet, and it's setting his text, also inspired by some visual art, and that's for like a mezzo soprano and amplified chamber ensemble, which I'm super excited about. I don't have the exact date yet, but it's in July.
That's awesome. I'm trying to see if we hit everything. And I think we have. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
There's
Keaton's
one
raising
more
his
that I wanted
hand.
to ask. Who are some of the people that you look up to and
Oh.
why?
um, I definitely like right now the two people that come to mind are JPEG Mafia and No Name. They're both rappers or musical artists. They both have really revolutionary politics, and I find that it's very reflected in their music and the way they present their music, which I think is really awesome. Like all of their music is free on Bandcamp. They don't really ask for you to like buy their albums. They just ask for like streams. Like I think No Name is like she's just asking for people to stream her newest single so that she can fund her next album or next project. And she's also like really active in political education and organizing. She has a really great book club, and she's trying to like open a new space where they can have like a library and meetings. Um, and I think JPEG is like one of my biggest musical inspirations. It's super genre fluid. Like he's primarily known as a rapper, but he also like I got to go to like one of his concerts, and it was basically like a hardcore show. Like he had his shirt off and he's like running around like screaming, and like opening a pit, just like so fun, like for like a traditionally like hip hop show. Um, but yeah, those two are like my parents, my musical parents.
um, it just made me think of like, do you think there will ever be like a pit opened up at one of your shows in the future?
I hope so. That'd be sick. Yeah, I've like kind of been a fan of like the like live stream concerts. Um, I don't go to a lot because like being on the computer all day like is not fun. But like the shows that do happen, like I feel like it's like so fun to like type in the chat and like talk to people during the performance and like not just be like silent and just like sitting there like watching stuff. Um, so I hope there's like pits post-COVID music concerts, like new music concerts.
You know, I also hope that that kind of um, aesthetic is not the right word. Environment, place,
Mhm.
whatever, like or way of interacting with the kind of art that we do. I think that that hopefully will come back because like it didn't always have to be like be quiet while everyone's playing or whatever. Like hopefully it'll come back to a way where it's like come to this social event. There's gonna be
Mhm.
music and whatever else. I found that
Yeah,
so fun.
I feel like the issue is that like there's often not like a specific like recording time or like something like in the contract for like these performances. So like a lot of composers like rely on the live performance as their like recording object for that piece. Um, so I think that would like if there was like more recording stability for like premieres and like not the premiere like has to be like, oh, this is my recording of the piece and it's never going to happen again sort of thing. Like I feel like that's like the only thing that's kind of like stopping us from like moshing.
That's really cool. I'm actually in research methods this semester, and my paper is on the importance of social interaction and like interactive programming in concerts as opposed to just like sitting there and being quiet. But I
Mhm.
never thought about having a mosh pit, and that would actually be pretty
I mean,
interactive.
there's definitely like some issues with that. Um, just like physical and like gendered issues, but like at least like dancing maybe, or just like not having to like be quiet is like the main thing.
Right. Well, we really appreciate you talking with us today, and I think the audience members will really appreciate learning more about you. And thank you so much for taking the time to do this and for taking the time to write us some fantastic music.
Yeah, thank you for having me on this project. I'm super excited to hear the piece.